Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Bop or Flop. I'm your host, Lightning, and with me always...
It's me, Thunder. You can't see the anime poses I'm doing.
So welcome back.
Welcome back.
This month's episode. I believe it's a normal episode this month.
It is a normal episode. We got some anime. We got some live action. We got a pretty good episode ahead of us, I think.
Cool. You want to hop right into it?
Yes, I would love to hop right into it, Chris.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, we have The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Jimmy Neutron lasted for 3 seasons from July 20th, 2002 to November 25th, 2006, and it lasted 61 episodes. I remember it lasting longer than that, but I guess not. It starred Debbie Derryberry, Jeffrey Garcia, and Rob Paulson. And the theme song was composed and performed by surf rock band Man or Astro Man.
Question number 1. Is it good? I always like the Jimmy Neutron theme song.
I've always liked it too, and I'm trying to detach whatever nostalgia I have from it because I did watch this show a lot. But I think it's still pretty good. It's got some issues, and we'll talk about them. But I think it still is a good song.
It's definitely cooler than Jimmy Neutron, the character.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting, but...
I wonder if that's intentional.
Question number 2, is it fun?
I wouldn't say it's fun.
I'd say it's cool. I wouldn't say it's fun. I would say it's cool.
Which is odd because, I don't know, the show is named after the character, right? But the character is more often than not he's usually the savior, but he's more often than not the butt of the joke.
Right.
So I wonder if the theme song is meant to counteract that.
That's what I'm saying. Everything's got to be cool. Even if it's not cool, it's got to be cool.
I don't know. It's definitely like surf rock is really hit or miss. I've never gone out of my way to actually listen to surf rock. All the surf rock I've come in contact with has either been through theme songs or Sonic the Hedgehog. You got to be in the mood for it, you know?
That was definitely an early 2000s pop punk stylized surf rock, for sure. But I definitely hear what you're saying. Question number 3. Does it explain the premise of the show that we are about to watch?
Back when I was screening these like months ago, I had a big issue, and I forgot what it is, and I just remembered it. First of all, to answer your question, yes, it pretty much does. It's hard to understand the guy. It's not his fault. I think it's whoever mixed this theme song, because I remember struggling to understand what he was saying back in the day as well. Here's what bothers me, and they almost got away with it too. The last line of the theme song is, "This is the theme song for Jimmy Neutron." I would posit to say, no, it's not. It's the theme song for The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Not to be confused with the feature film, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. The show is not called Jimmy Neutron. I know we all called it that. It was literally up until I was getting ready for this episode you're listening to right now that I realized that the show had more words in the title than the words Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
And it's probably the theme song's fault. Because I hear him say this is the theme song for Jimmy Neutron, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
It's also just a unnecessarily long title.
Yes.
The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Also, and I know this is personal preference, so I'll try not to, take it into consideration when I'm grading this later, but I really don't like "This is the theme song." I don't like.
You don't like that line?
I don't like the almost, but not really, like breaking the fourth wall of it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's obviously intentional. It seems lazy. Like we couldn't think of another line, so let's just say what the thing is because
they use song as I forget what the word is for this, but it doesn't rhyme, but it sounds good with neutron.
Yeah. Oh, the word song. Yes. Yeah. It's a slant rhyme.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it like
doesn't
sort of
actually
rhymes,
rhyme, but it works.
Yeah. If you took it to a rhymologist, they'd be like, Jacques Hughes. No, I don't love it. There's a couple theme songs that do that.
They probably could have thought a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely gives out that impression.
Question number 4, is it creative? It's definitely stylized for the early 2000s. That's definitely what Nickelodeon was all about.
Yeah,
so I guess thumbs up
2006.
There. Yeah, the surf rock fits. I don't know why, but it fits. To me, I hear that, I think Jimmy Neutron, and I think part of it might be whether it's sound effects or whether it's creative instrumentation. There's definitely some like mad scientist lab noises going on.
It's not like 100% surf rock. There's definitely some science fiction ass sound effects.
Yeah,
and
some Rick and Morty style sound effects.
Yeah, and that I can appreciate.
Yeah. So it all fits. And honestly, when I hear the Jimmy Neutron theme song, it makes me think of the movie, because the movie did similar stuff. And it's interesting because you kind of have to use the movie as reference, because it sounds like the movie came out first.
It did, yeah. But it would appear as though it wasn't produced first, because even the movie, I was looking up, the movie has the theme song in it, but it's actually a cover of the theme song by Bowling for Soup.
Oh.
So whenever you Google the Jimmy Neutron theme song, it comes up as Jimmy song by Bowling for Soup, because that's the version that made it onto an official soundtrack for a feature film.
Right.
But they did, in fact, not write it. They just covered it.
Gotcha. That's interesting. I don't know. When I think of the Jimmy Neutron IP, the Jimmy Neutron franchise, this song definitely fits the aesthetic I feel like they were going for, which is funny because it definitely does not fit the character Jimmy Neutron.
Right, or the science fiction theming that this song more often than not that this show more often than not takes.
You'd kind of want the Big Bang Theory at the beginning of Jimmy Neutron if you think about it logically, but
our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait,
you'd expect something like that, but no, they took a risk, and it seems like it worked.
Yeah, I think it fits. I think it was creative. I think they fit a brand that they were trying to fit, not only with the show, but Nickelodeon at the time. And I think it fits in. I listen to this song, and I think of Rugrats. I think of Jimmy Neutron, the movie.
Think of the era.
I think of the era, right. I hear this, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that fit in with the mid-2000s Nickelodeon aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it did the job it was supposed to, and I think it did get there creatively.
Yeah.
Is it a bop or a flop?
Yeah, so I've been doing this thing, and I want to keep doing it, where I sort of like explain myself before I reveal the answer. It's definitely a good theme song, definitely a memorable Nickelodeon theme song. I'd say not a really standout one, like maybe Fairly Odd Parents or SpongeBob is. But like you said, I think it got the job done. With most theme songs, I think this theme song is going to be the biggest takeaway from this show when, the farther away from this show's original air date that we get. And I think for that, it deserves the bop.
Cool. I feel good about that.
He rescues the day from sure destruction. This is the theme song.
You could definitely put that one at the beginning of Jimmy Neutron. I wouldn't know the difference.
Death Note, because it is an anime based off a 12-issue manga, lasted for one collection from October 3rd, 2006 to June 26th, 2007.
I remember it being very short.
Yeah, and it lasted for 37 episodes. Death Note is a horror-themed anime based off the manga of the same name, in which the main character is the antagonist. The theme song is called The World and was written by Yingling Cheng and was performed by the band Nightmare.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, it's a good anime theme song.
It definitely, and this is something you can say about a lot of anime intros, unfortunately, it definitely drags in the middle.
Yes. Well, there's a part at the intro, probably 20 seconds in, where I was like, oh, that was short. And then the rest of the song happened. I think it's right around then where I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
The most memorable part of the intro is definitely that first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It almost feels like there's a genre shift. There's definitely a tone shift.
Yeah, it kind of goes from J-metal to J-pop.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Is it fun?
I think it did exactly what it wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it definitely puts you in the mood for Death Note, which, as I mentioned, is kind of like dark themes one way or another. no matter how you look at it, it's basically a show about death and killing.
Right.
And I think that it does a good job, easing you into that.
Does it explain the premise of the show that we are, guess what, about to watch?
Would you be surprised to hear that? Yes, it actually kind of does.
I kind of. No, they said a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of it was plot.
More often than not, anime intros will...
Don't.
What?
They don't.
They don't, right.
Say whatever the hell.
Well, sometimes they say whatever the hell, and sometimes they'll say, like, something that maybe the character would say but definitely didn't.
Right. And then sometimes it gets lost in translation.
Right. Sometimes I literally can't find a translation. But this one, looking at the lyrics, it really seems like in the first part, the first 20 minutes that we were talking about, it seems like he's having a conversation with his little demon buddy. It seems like they're talking about, like, what's going to go wrong and what might happen now that I have all these powers. And then the second half of it, he's basically soliloquizing about how he thinks he's a god now. Once again, it doesn't say, like, this is Light Yagami, here's what he does.
Right.
But as far as comparing it to the other animes that we've done at this point, I think it does one of the better jobs we've seen so far.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've yet to find an anime intro that's like, welcome to this show. Here's the main character.
Right. Question number 4. Is it creative?
Yeah, I'd say so. This does not, at least in my head, fall in line with, like, traditional anime openings.
Okay.
You mentioned how this song kind of changed from J-metal to J-pop, and the fact that it even touches J-metal, like, confirms that it's creative for me. It's
okay.
It obviously fits the show well, and that's why they did it. But this particular theme song was definitely one that when I heard it, I was like, "Whoa, this isn't Pokemon."
Okay, see, Pokemon's a different story. See, I was thinking maybe I'm spoiled with the JoJo intros, but I feel like it's not too uncommon to switch genres up or touch upon metal. I mean,
feel
some
like
JoJo intros are metal.
I feel like at the time it was.
At the time of, like...
Yeah,
of Death Note's release, early 2006 or something?
Yeah, 2006, 2007. Yeah, there was no JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There was no... I think Bleach was out, but, like, Naruto wasn't like this.
Right.
Sailor
no, that's
Moon
a good
wasn't
point.
like
That's
this.
a good point. This could have opened the doors for some more J-metal
I think
intros.
it might have. I think it really might have.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking like that.
Because
so for the time,
right,
that could have been.
Because you're right. There's like 12 JoJo's Bizarre Adventure openings, and some of them are metal.
And then you got One Punch Man. We were just talking about a metal intro.
Right.
Also, some of the JoJo intros, not only are they J-metal, they will go from J-metal to J-pop.
Right.
I don't know if the mic picked that up, but in a snap.
No, I think someone had the task of making a Death Note show, and with that became the need for a Death
metal
Note
anime
theme
intros,
song. So they, instead of doing something more traditional, they went with what they thought fit, and I think it really worked.
Is it a bop or flop?
I didn't expect this because this isn't my favorite anime intro. Talking about it and just remembering what I can only assume it did for the coming years of the anime industry in terms of theme songs. I think it deserves the bop.
Sure. I'm down for that.
I think I was ready to give it a blop because it's not my favorite, but it certainly it's good, and it gets the job done.
Yeah, agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy. Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Science rules.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Inertia is a property of matter.
Bill
T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. lasted for 5 seasons from September 10th, 1993 and to June 20th, 1998. And it lasted for 100 episodes. Bill Nye the Science Guy starred mechanical engineer Bill Nye and Pat Big Money Cashman, who was also the announcer for Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Oh.
And the theme song was composed by Mark Green. So you have Pat Cashman to thank for the way I say Mr. Game & Watch.
Mr. Game & Watch.
Question number 1. Is it good?
Yes. I really do think it's good, and I don't think it's nostalgia talking. This theme song has got a real get up and go.
Yeah.
Which is cool because this show kind of had that. It was a show about science. It was an educational show, but it was like kind of the best one at the time.
Yeah.
I think it's not only good, I think it stands the test of time. Sometimes we're sitting here and we're like, it's good, but it's old, but it's still good. I think this one's still good.
Question number 2. Is it fun?
I think it's very fun. Like I said, I guess I already mentioned this, but like I said, Bill Nye really took he took science and things we would learn in school and things that are usually probably boring subjects to talk about, and he made them really interesting. And I feel like if his theme song was anything less than what we got, it would be, always forget the beneficial.
Yeah.
Like I think that the this theme song being so good but also so like in your face was like intentional. It's almost kind of like wake up kids, it's science time.
Right.
It's cool science time.
Right. Does it explain the premise of the show that we are about to watch?
No, it does not.
No,
it
Bill
says
Nye the Science Guy?
It says the word Bill a lot, yeah.
And he says science rules.
And he says inertia is a property of matter.
Yes.
I will always remember that because of this theme song.
I'm very glad they kept it so short and so entertaining because there is zero explanation. Although Bill Nye and science, in that he is a guy, are kind of the only things constant on this show.
Yeah, that's the thing. There wasn't really a plot like you and I just saw. There was like an amphibians episode,
right, and
then like a gravity episode or a water episode, you know? So it was really, truly a teaching, learning show. So there wasn't really plot to be explained other than Bill Nye is going to teach you stuff, and I feel like we all get that
right
from this theme song. Maybe I'm projecting, but I guess what I'm saying is, does it explain the premise? No, but I think it does the best job it was going to do.
Right.
I think that it's totally fine that this is what it was.
This is what we get
in terms of lyrics. Yeah.
They did take the easy route out. I feel like they could have explained that he does different science. They could have explained anything about the show. But I do agree they got the basic stuff down.
It seems like they tried to do that with the visuals, but the visuals are very 90s. They're very
hard to see.
Very sporadic.
Yeah.
So
is it creative?
When this show came on, it was like, oh, it's Bill Nye, the Science Guy time. And it's because of the theme song, because the theme song's so just in your face. And theme songs weren't really that in the mid to late 90s.
Right.
I think creative is probably the category that it succeeds in the most, just based off how memorable it is. And listen, especially if you've never heard this before, I could totally understand if someone listened to that and said that was really annoying.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
But I do disagree. I think that it's, using annoying for lack of a better word, it's just as annoying as it wanted to be, you know?
Yeah.
Whether this is your jam or not, we're about to talk about science and mechanical engineering for the next half hour.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not on board for the theme song, you're definitely not going to be on board for that. I bet you that there are some kids who absolutely hate science but sat through an entire episode of Bill Nye because they knew that a second episode was coming on afterwards and wanted to hear the theme song again. I'm not saying I did that because I didn't do that. I actually watched this show. But I wouldn't be surprised if someone was like, oh, yeah, I've never really seen it, but that theme song, though.
Is it a bop or flop?
I am going to give Bill Nye the Science Guy for everything it did, for everything he did, and, you know, the importance, I think, that this theme song had in getting people to actually watch the show, which then talked about important things that kids should know about. I'm going to give it a bop.
T minus 7 seconds.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Up next, we have Adventure Time.
Adventure time, come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We'll take the dog and then the human. The fun will never end. It's adventure time.
Adventure Time. This I did not know. This surprised the hell out of me. Adventure Time lasted 10 seasons from April 5th, 2010 to September 3rd, 2018, and it lasted 283 episodes.
Nice.
It starred Jeremy Shade, John DiMaggio, Hayden Walsh, and Tom Kenny. The theme song was written and performed by Pendleton Ward, who was the show's creator.
Is it good?
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal with Adventure Time. I do not like it.
The show?
The theme song.
Oh, okay.
The show probably rips. I've seen a couple episodes of it. Seems like a really good show. I can't say this was always the case, but I coming out of the tail end of this show being a really popular thing, I do not like this theme song. I will say that I know I am in the minority, and it's probably good to some people, but not to me. And we'll get to why. What do
Okay.
you think?
I can appreciate the quirkiness of the theme song. I think it's you've probably seen more of the show than I have, but I think it probably plays off of the humor in the show pretty well. It's very nonchalant type of stuff, just kind of like chill vibes I get from this show. And also the main characters. I will say this theme song, I've never seen the show. I am tempted to watch the show after seeing the full theme song.
Something happened with this show where it was just a normal kids show, and you kind of got hints here and there that it's post-apocalyptic and like something really bad happened to the real world.
Yeah.
And then Steven Universe comes out and rocks the world, but takes the world by storm. And then Adventure Time basically turns into Steven Universe is like, oh, well, now we're going to fucking get into all the post-apocalyptic shit, and it's going to be a serious-ass show now. So it's
yeah, I'm
kinda
down
like
for that. It seems like a cool universe that they set up. It seems like a very D&D style universe.
the main villain of Season 2 is literally a Lich King.
I have some things I think I want to save for a different question. Was it
Yeah.
good? It was okay.
Mm.
I would say it was okay. I'm going to say it was okay.
Okay.
And then we're going to move on to another question.
Okay.
Question number 2. Is it fun? I'm going to say it was not fun. I do think it was the vibe that they wanted this intro to have.
I agree with that. I don't know. I know I use this word a lot, but it's very intentional. It's weird that essentially half the theme song is like an orchestra swell, and then the actual theme song starts.
Yeah.
And then the actual theme song, like when Pendleton Ward actually starts singing after the fist bump, it's very short.
That's the thing. I think that part of the song I would have enjoyed more of.
Right.
Like, if it was longer, I think I would have liked it better. I think the swell was unintentional. I didn't realize, not unintentional, unnecessary. I didn't realize until this time playing through that was even there. I thought the theme song started with the
Right. No,
It's
I also forgot about
It's like
the,
half the theme song, and
yeah.
then the theme song is 2 seconds long. I would have rather more the meat and potatoes on the other
Right.
end than the stupid swell.
No, very muted start. Clearly that's intentional, but I don't know.
They're definitely underplaying any drama that might happen in
Right,
this show.
right.
And that's clearly intentional, and you get that out of the theme song.
But there's also something to be said about, like, I'm watching Cartoon Network, and an episode of 2010 to 2018. Okay, so an episode of Regular Show just ended, right? Which is a terrible example because Regular Show doesn't even have a goddamn theme song. But an episode of Regular Show just ended, and I'm playing Pokemon. I'm looking at my phone because I'm a kid in the mid-2000s. And then this show comes on, and I don't even know because I can't hear it because there's no,
Right.
there's like, I'm so used to, I guess I'm talking about myself personally now at this point, but I'm so used to theme songs just being like, wake up,
Yeah.
like with the first couple moments of their intro, especially for cartoons like this, and especially on Cartoon Network. I feel like Cartoon Network has a lot of like boom bam pow openings that get you really into the show, and I guess
Which makes me think that it has to be intentional. They're clearly undermining everything else that's going on, even their own show. It seems like their own show gets kind of epic and they want to downplay that. Question number 3: does it explain the premise of the show that we are about to watch?
Sorry, I was just remembering all the lyrics.
Here's the issue: the lyrics are like 2 stanzas. They're like an A B, and then that's it.
See, here's the interesting thing with this question. Let's just analyze all the lyrics right now because there's so few of them.
Sure.
Adventure Time, come on, grab your friends. That's the name of the show and who they want you to watch the show with. We'll go to very distant lands.
Sure.
I'm
sure that happens.
I'm sure that happens.
I saw Distant Lands in the intro.
Yeah, it's all about kingdoms and princesses. I'm sure that we don't stay in forest realm where they live. With Jake the dog and Finn the human, those are the 2 characters that are our main characters. Jeremy Shade and John DiMaggio are going to be voicing those characters, and it's the 2 characters that are in literally all the pictures of the thumbnails on the YouTube videos. The fun that never ends, Adventure Time, except it did end very quickly, your theme song.
Yes.
So they said the name of the theme song twice, and there wasn't that many lyrics. I would argue that is enough statistics for titleitis.
Yes.
Like if you're gonna have like,
and I think that was 2 stanzas, right? That was one rhyme, 2 rhyme. We're done. See you later.
Yeah. That was 4 lines of text.
Yeah.
So in 4 lines of text, we said the name of the show twice. And we used one of those lines of text to name drop the main characters, but we didn't really explain. No, nothing was explained. The premise was not explained.
Well, I know the 2 main characters,
right?
But this is an ensemble cast, if I remember correctly. And
it is.
It seems like there is a canonical through line. That's like there is something. They're going to be doing something in that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't get any of that from the intro.
Right. No, it actually kind of seems like the opposite. The lyrics and how short it is make it seem like it's going to be a show for little kids, and there's not going to be much takeaway.
You know, this intro might have me up as a kid, and that might have been the reason I never watched Adventure Time, because all my friends did, and I was like, isn't that a show for babies? Isn't that a dumb little baby show?
That would make sense, because then, like, a couple years later, the same thing happened with Steven Universe, where people were like, you should watch Steven Universe, and I'm like, but I'm in college, isn't it for children? Like, we just went through this with My Little Pony. I don't want to watch a kid's show. But then people are like, no, it's Steven Universe. It's like, it's good. It's for adults, too. And then I listened to the theme song, and I was like, oh, because the Steven Universe theme song, I know you didn't like it that much, if I remember correctly, when we did it. But it explains, like, a lot.
Yeah.
And this one, who I'm looking back on it, I'm getting similar vibes of like, no, Adventure Time, it starts out for kids, but then it gets deep, and it's a really good show, and adults could enjoy it. The theme song does not help.
It seems very fitting, the theme song. It just...
I don't know. That's kind of why I'm struggling, because I don't like it, but the reasons I don't like it is because I don't know, like, I just don't like what it did. Like, it fits the themings of the show, and I'm sure everything that we heard is intentional, and even the length of it, right, isn't probably intentional. But I just feel like they could have done more.
Oh, yeah,
they could have done
could've.
something more. They could have done something else to get you and me in the mood.
I think even a second verse might have helped me out.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page, in the same boat, on the same planet. Question number 4: is it creative?
That's a tricky one.
It is creative. So this show seems to take very medieval themes matched up with very modern day themes. The humor, whether we like it or not, is definitely rings true in the intro. It's very underplayed. It's downplayed. It's all the epicness is kind of like they could have put a fart noise at the end of the swell, and it would have fit.
Yeah, that'd actually be great, I think.
I think it fits in a very creative way, because this could have been Adventure Time. Even the show title is kind of like, sit down, we're going to play some D&D, we're going to have some adventures, but they went the opposite route, which I do think is creative. I will give them that. This was a creative intro. Was it half-assed? Maybe a little bit. Could a second verse have been utilized? Maybe.
The fact that, and I have nothing wrong with this person, but the fact that the show's creator wrote and performed the theme song himself, it kind of makes me think that, the fact that the show creator wrote and performed the theme song itself, and then it was this, makes me think that he wasn't like, no, I'd rather do it. I have a perfect vision. It seems like he couldn't get anyone, and he was just like, I'll do it.
I don't know, though. If you have Cartoon Network backing you up, I think they could have got him somebody to make an intro.
Probably. I mean, it's not him doing the ending song, so...
There might not have been ego involved, but I do think it was... I have a feeling that the creator of this show is a very quirky person.
Yeah.
And I think Cartoon Network ate that up, and they were like, what? You wrote your own theme song for this show? That's awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know if this will make it because it might be a little off topic, but the show is called Adventure Time, which is like a pretty... Even when it came out, I had this thought. It's a pretty generic title.
Yeah.
Like, Fairly Odd Parents could be called Adventure Time. Power
Right.
Rangers could be called Adventure Time.
Right.
So the title doesn't really do much to explain to me what's going to happen in the show.
That's a good point.
And then I listen to the theme song, and neither does the theme song, you know?
Is it a bop or flop?
Yeah, I know people might disagree with me, but I think for everything we talked about, even though, you know, I don't like it, but putting that aside, I do recognize that it's a good song, and people do like it. I'm still going to give it a blop.
Yeah, I think that's where I would have put it. Not the full flop, but
It's
a
not
blop.
terrible,
Yeah.
right? Like, it's not terrible, and it does get the job done, and it is clearly intentional. I do not like it, and I wish it was something else.
Will never end its adventure time.
Up next, we have Lizzie McGuire.
If you believe we've got a picture perfect plan.
Lizzie McGuire lasted for 2 seasons from January 12th, 2001 to February 14th, 2004. So it took 3 years to release 2 seasons. And it lasted for 65 episodes. It starred Hilary Duff, Lelaine, Jake Thomas, and Robert Carradine, of all people. The theme song was composed by Elliot Lurai, which I was certain was a name that we've run into before, but I looked him up, and it seems like this is the only theme song he wrote. And it was performed by Angie Jari.
Question number 1, is it good? I didn't like it.
Interesting. I've come full circle with this theme song. I did watch this show as a kid. I did not like the theme song, but I like it now. I've come around to it. I think I appreciate it more listening to it now than I did when I was a kid. I don't know what that means.
It was very, very, very slow to me.
Okay.
There wasn't a lot of dynamic. It was just kind of humdrum the whole way through. I could have fallen asleep to that song. Not something I would want out of a show intro. It was very soft rock, very very easygoing.
You know what it is, and I guess you could call Lizzie McGuire this. I wouldn't call it this, but the theme song was very sitcom-y.
Okay, I could get that.
It wasn't as long as a traditional sitcom theme song, but it was very like when you said the word soft rock, it clicked in my head. I was like, oh, like a sitcom. But I do agree. It if there was anything to complain about, it could be faster.
Yeah, it just kind of dragged.
Even if it was the same song, it was just a little more peppy.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Also, Singer was not fantastic. Singer was not very good.
Yeah, I tried to look her up. It doesn't seem like she's done anything else. So
makes sense to me. Question number 2: is it fun?
I think you're gonna say no, based on what you just said about it. See, I think it's fun, but maybe it's the visuals swaying my interpretation of this theme song, because the visuals are really playful.
That's
and
the other thing too. The visuals to me do not match up with the song that we're watching.
No.
Very Disney.
It's very Disney. It's very fun. I maybe that's what it is.
The visuals are fun.
Right. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, taking it over to the theme song, it's kind of odd that the theme song is this, and the visual.
They don't match up to me.
It seems like the people writing the show, the people directing the theme song visuals, and the people writing the theme song itself didn't communicate to one another.
Yeah.
Seems like, if I had to guess, using my my vast knowledge of how this industry works, I'm gonna bet that Elliot Lurai knows Angie Jari personally. He was given a loose synopsis of what the show could be about. He wrote a theme song. She performed it. It sounded like that. And then they shipped it. And then they were like, well, he did what we asked. He wrote a theme song.
Right.
Meanwhile, the show is, they've already written and filmed 6 episodes. And the theme song visuals have been filmed since 4 weeks before they started filming. So it's the unfortunate reality that you're in that we have to come to terms with when referring to theme songs sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't click. Sometimes it clicks incredibly well, and all the specific eyes that were supposed to be on the different parts of the projects were, and it made a perfect theme song. Case in point, Fairly Odd Parents.
Right.
But this one, it seems like there was some communication issues, and it definitely shows.
Yeah, this one just didn't hit the mark for me.
No, and I get that because, like I said, it didn't hit the mark for me either until recently. So that probably means that it's nostalgia.
It could be. I don't know. I mean, if you enjoy the song, you enjoy the song. To me, that's not it's not a good TV show intro.
No. I listen to different kinds of music now. Back when I was watching this, I was listening to Fall Out Boy and A Day to Remember and shit like that, and I still listen to that, but more often than not lately I'm listening to, Taylor Swift and Blackpink and Olivia Rodrigo. So I clearly have gone through a evolution of what I listen to, so it probably has something to do with that too.
Yeah, could be. Does it explain the premise of the show that we are about to watch?
Oh no, Chris, it's a song. You see, Chris, it's a song that could be about, like we always say when this happens, there are some lyrics that do match up, like we'll figure it out on the way. And they just they wrote a generic ass, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they got no plot synopsis for this show before they had to write it. It's unfortunate when that happens, at least a little bit. And like sometimes it works. It worked with Sonic X, but sometimes it really doesn't work, and this time it didn't. It just sort of feels like someone wrote a song and then someone used that song for the Lizzie McGuire theme song, which is actually not the case. This song was written specifically for this show, which is even more frustrating.
That really aggravates me.
Yeah, it's even more aggravating and frustrating why this one happened like this.
Is it creative?
I'd say no.
It really just feels like a song through and through.
Yeah.
Very minimal effort in this theme song on my end, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, we'll never know, right? But at some point, this guy was hired to write a song, and then at some point he hired this other person to sing it. When you're talking about effort, it seems like on the back end, it seems like there was effort put into it, but then you listen to it and you're like, oh. I should mention, because I usually mention this, there is an extended version of this.
Okay.
It's really hard to find, but there is a full song version of this. It's just so interesting that nothing about the plot, like they don't say Lizzie McGuire, they don't talk about her diary or her friends or how she has an imaginary friend that's just a little cartoon version of her voiced by her. There's just a lot that they could have done with this theme song rather than just have it be a soft rock jam. I don't know. Disappointment is what I'm feeling on the tail end of this bop or flop segment.
Is it a bop or flop?
Obviously, I started this by saying that I like it, and I obviously have to take that into consideration. But I really do think part of it might be nostalgia, and
I mean, you can like the song. It's an okay song. It really comes down to is it an appropriate song to be a theme song?
Yeah. No, I try to take nostalgia out of it. But it's got so many negatives. I think the only positive it has going for it is that Thunder of Thunder Lightning Gaming, enjoyed listening to it. Other than that, it was just really negatives all across the board. So I think I am, unfortunately, going to give Lizzie McGuire the flop.
The full flop.
Yeah.
The full-fledged flop.
Yeah.
So we went bop, 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 blop, flop.
Yes, that is what we did.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Don't get mad at me.
Those are don't at Thunder
Yeah, don't at me.
about his thoughts on his channel.
And sometimes we make it, and sometimes we fake it. But we'll get one step closer each and every day. We'll figure it out on the way.
So, for the next episode of Bop or Flop, it's a themed episode, and it's unlike one we've done before. It's not, it's not 5 shows based off of a character. It's not, 5 shows that all have a theme. I found a particular artist that has done 5 different theme songs.
Oh.
And their name is They Might Be Giants.
Wow.
So next episode will be 5 theme songs that They Might Be Giants did.
Very cool. With that, thank you so much, and we'll see you next month right here on Bop or Flop.
Thank you for listening and watching. And if you like what you see, please be sure to subscribe.
Our channel is daily uploads from podcasts to video essays, let's plays to skits.
Be sure to find us on Twitch and Patreon.
Our theme song is Sunny Day by Froggy and the Friendship, and our Let's Play intro is Sunny Bit by the same band.
Link to all these in the description below. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.